HenricK, the rat bring the chaos. Gaming news and industry talk, they got it all. Rage quitting, head banging, it's a metal bro. Mental meltdown, gaming in flames. Chris and HenricK bringing the thunderous rage. Video games and viral content. Better games, ripping through pixels, the ultimate gamer getaway. The ultimate. Rave over, I'm feeling the rage. Chris Collins and HenricK on the stage, talking gaming news. Industry that can't escape, reviewing video games. No need to debate. They bring the heat, spitting truth non-stop with fiery words. They're ready to drop, making waves in the world of video games. Collins and HenricK, they don't play no games. From console wars to DLC scams, they expose it all, making sure no one jams. The audience fired up, ready to explode. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. You know it's a code. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. Rage quits. Rage quits. I'm losing my mind. Chris and HenricK, they're talking gaming all the time. Rage quits. Rage quits. It's a love-hate affair, but I keep coming back. Ain't nothing else to compare. Rage quit. It's a love-hate affair.
What's raging, gamers? Welcome to the season 10 launch of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. How you doing, HenricK the Wreck?
You know me, Chris. I'm here and I'm ready to rage. Are you?
Oh man, I'm ready to rage. It's been hot as hell all day. I feel like I'm living
yeah.
in the video game Dante's Inferno, walking the 9 circles of hell. Why is it so damn hot
that's
still?
a raging
6
man.
o'clock in Southern California. Heat advisory warning, more like Dante showed up. But anyways, we got a jam-packed show for everybody that's tuning in live, whether it's YouTube, Meta, or Twitch. And we can't thank you enough for always joining us live at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, because without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. But we always like to start off the show with a bang and show you guys a lot of viral content that is circulating all across the World Wide Web. So let's get it. Gamer Sniping Soup, I know, kind of a wild name, right, is blowing up online for streaming himself, calling his local Chick-fil-A, and grilling the employee with the ultimate question. Well, what is it? What's your favorite combo 1 through 10. And you might be asking yourself, like, what the hell does that even have to do with what we're about to discuss? Well, shockingly, this nugget of fast food wisdom helped them pull off a legendary play in Counter-Strike, proving sometimes the real power-ups come with fries. And so let's go ahead and take a look.
Thanks for calling Chick-fil-A Mansfield. This is County. How may I help you?
Hey, I'm just trying to figure out what to order on the menu. What's your number 1 or number 2? What's your favorite number to order on the menu?
I normally go for spicy, so I would say number 2.
Number 2, and what would be your second favorite?
My second favorite, the nuggets.
What number is that on the menu?
The number 3.
Number 3. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, dude.
Yeah,
Let's get something good.
He didn't care, bro.
And for those who don't get it, like why they're so hyped about it, that's a very expensive knife.
Very expensive. I mean, we've covered it, man, last
Yeah.
year with Counter-Strike and how, like, that's why people get so upset with, like, Fortnite, for example. I remember my little brother was so upset when, like, the Borderlands skin showed up all over again. He's like, dude, I thought that, like, me collecting my collection of cosmetic skins would be such a rarity that if I ever wanted to sell my account in the future, it'd be worth some money. Ha! Joke's on you. And that's why Counter-Strike definitely has that massive community where people go crazy buying these crates and cosmetics and V-Bucks and goodies. And yeah, it's just insane. I mean, but obviously the hype is very real, as you can see in that clip. But let's dive into those comments. First one is like, bro, what? I'm not
What a
too
reaction
sure.
face.
Yeah, exactly. That guy is just stumped. And then the next comment reads, just ordered 40 spicy chicken sandwiches, opening cases now. So, like, I think everybody's going to try to practice what you preach, kind of a philosophy. And then the last comment reads, the guy on the phone needs a cut of the profit. Would you do the same? Would you treat him right? Would you take him out to dinner, HenricK the Wreck?
Hey, you know what? I'd call back and be like, hey, man, I appreciate you. Here's a quick little hundo right here for you right now.
Wouldn't that be so funny? You're like, man, I know that all you guys do is serve chicken, but let me take you out to a steak dinner. Come on, man. You treated me well. Let me do the same for you. But you know what's also another thing that was going viral? Marvel Rivals keeps stacking up cosmetic skins, and naturally, the ones everyone tweets about are like, wow, that's really revealing kind of outfits for the ladies, right, HenricK? And so in a Rivals Assembled interview, the creative director was straight up asked if the game's turning into a Gooner paradise. And his answer might surprise you. So let's go ahead and take a look.
How do you guys respond to people calling Marvel Rivals a Gooner game?
因为我们的设计就像刚刚也提到，我们会来源于漫画的一些经典，包括我们其实很出彩的一些皮肤，包括 Manix， 对吧？然后也包括灵蝶的复仇使者，那这些都是来源于漫画的经典设计。那我们会在漫画的经典设计上去做一些更时尚的一些设计，对，然后来以此得到大家的喜欢。
He was like, don't look at me. Look at the comic designs.
Or he goes, to gain the players' appreciation.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, he's like, we kind of always knew what you guys wanted from us. Oh, you thought this was just a Marvel game? No, it's a Gooner game as well. And we're going to actually go into that further in the show. But hey, let's go ahead and dive into the comments. How does he explain the Venom's cake then? Equal opportunity goon?
Yeah. You know, you gotta, if you're gonna sexualize one type of character, you gotta sexualize all of them at some point.
But the last I recall, and I could be totally wrong on this, HenricK, you could correct me, but wasn't the Venom's cake twerk emote a joke, like for an April Fool's thing, because fans of the game were making fun of how bootylicious Venom's character was, and so they capitalized on that moment and made a free twerking emote for everybody?
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
well, they did. But you know what? Even Sony knows about it. You know, stepping into the ring with Sony. You know, when they had a tweet about a limited edition statue you could get with Spider-Man 2, they tweeted out saying, "Treat yourself to 18 inches of Venom."
Oh my
That-
god.
All right, that doesn't
Yeah.
sound right, does it?
No, not at all,
the
HenricK. I
exact
can't believe you just
tweet.
said that during our season 10 launch. Dang it, HenricK. And then also, we have improved the jiggle physics and added swimsuit skins. I know that is funny. I mean, as we're talking about the Venom twerk, they don't have that girls superheroes twerking in the game, but they do have quite the the display
A repertoire of
swimsuit.
outfits. Yeah.
I'd say, And then the last one reads, just cause it's from source material doesn't mean it's not pervy. Laughing my ass off with the follow-up comment that reads, you mix that with the ads that were running, maybe still are, that clearly focused on the characters' asses. There's not even a question they want it to be a Gooner game. I know. Haven't you always noticed that the camera always starts low and then it naturally goes up the body?
Hey, you know what? At least you're not going as far as some games have gone, like the First Descendant, where it's like, all right, you're not even subtle about it at this point.
Yeah, that's true. I remember when we called out Ninja, for being kind of a weirdo in a sense, and trying to utilize his wife to be like, oh, she caught me in the act kind of a thing. And then people wonder why Marvel Rivals gets labeled as a Gooner game, because you get these streamers that kind of support maybe the antics that the developers want, because it's free press from some of the top streamers.
Publicity.
Oh, man, it's so
And
insane.
money.
But you know what's also crazy, since we're all talking about all these cosmetics and V-Bucks and all that crazy nonsense, which I totally don't understand why people spend this kind of dollar, but we all know the gaming world is printing cash with microtransactions, but NBA 2K25 player 2K OG just proved that you can blow $32,000 on My Team packs and still get about half the cards you actually wanted. And how stupid, considering that NBA 2K26 is about to drop pretty soon. And in under 6 months, his wallet cried louder than a buzzer beater miss. And yes, the regret is real, and you can hear it in his voice. Let's go ahead and roll a clip.
$32,831.68 on this game. I'll say it again, $32,831.68.
Why?
Talk about spending your money wisely.
No wonder they want to implement age verification for everything and government ID. It's not to protect the 13-year-olds. It's because they see dumbasses like him, spending like $32,000 on My Team packs. I mean, oh my gosh, go run outside and go grab a Topps Chrome pack or something. Like, why this? The thing resets annually. Oh, this makes me so frustrated. But I want to see what the gamers have to say. This is why they're not lowering the prices. Yeah, they're not going to be doing it anytime soon. Like,
if it's making money, they're not going to. They won't
I know
until it stops making money.
And I know the video was moving fast, HenricK, but did you notice that a lot of his transactions were as high as $160 each? $160. That's insane.
Just whipping that out and spending that much money in one go on a game with microtransactions specifically, that's crazy.
It's mind-boggling. And then $32,000 on that dog shit game is insane. Better off putting it all on black. I like NBA 2K. I think it's a lot of fun. But I'm with K Bright. I would have rather put $32,000 all on black if you're willing to spend that much money within 6 months.
Actually have a chance of getting more of it at that point. I don't really condone gambling personally, because it can lead to problems.
Yes, that's right.
But they have a point here.
Well, clearly My Team packs lead to problems. And then last, that man paid a 2K employee's whole salary by himself. Y'all need to give him $1 million VC just because. Yeah, we definitely feel your pain, brother. But, you turned yourself into this, petri dish of, scientific data that now we can all laugh at you and be like, yeah, you're the experiment, and thank you for showing us what not to do. So, yeah, it's totally insane. But, hey, we want to thank all the gamers out there for joining us for our Season 10 launch of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. And without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. And we just want to take a moment for anybody that's not following us on our YouTube channel. Go ahead and scan the QR code, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a live show.
Yes, and you see that glorious QR code up there right now. That goes to my YouTube channel, where there's tons of awesome content just waiting to be watched. So go check it out, drop some comments, leave me some feedback. I want to hear from you guys.
That's right, and the show is only getting started, so we're revving up. Start your engines. Are you ready to rock and roll? HenricK,
Oh,
the
yeah.
wreck.
Unsheath your swords, take out your kunais. It's ready to talk about the pause and repeat for the week.
That's right. Let's get it, baby.
Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. This is a game that's part of Koei Tecmo's big push to bring Ninja Gaiden back to the forefront of their game IPs. With Ninja Gaiden 4 around the corner, they decided to go back to their NES roots. However, they left the development to the Game Kitchen, developers known for the 2D Souls-like Blasphemous. So with all this in mind, let's slash into the gameplay and see what they've cut up for us. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is a love letter to the NES Ninja Gaiden games that started the whole series. As a result, expect what might seem like outdated controls, but this is a deliberate design choice. The game is a 2D side-scroller where you'll get to play as one of two different shinobi depending on the mission. If you play as Kenji, you'll have a sword as your primary attack, and later abilities to unlock like Guillotine Boost. If you play as Komori, she'll have ranged kunai thrown attacks, and later on can do things like teleport short distances. Each stage will throw various different enemies and platforming challenges or puzzles your way. A lot of times, you'll even have to use the enemies to your advantage as part of the mobility in a platforming puzzle. Gameplay is pretty fast-paced and unforgiving at times. Take too many hits, and you'll have to start over at a checkpoint. Fortunately enough, there is little to no loading times to go back to a checkpoint, so you can jump right back into the action. Checkpoints are also plentiful, with no life counter either, so you'll only get penalized on your overall score and ranking for the level. But did they include any story in this nod to the originals? The story of Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is the usual premise. Demons are trying to bring back the Demon Lord. It starts off with an invasion of demons, and both Kenji and Komori are caught off guard in their respective headquarters. It's soon after the invasion, and their subsequent efforts to stop it, that they run into each other. From there, they form an unexpected alliance considering they are from the rivaling Hayabusa and Black Spider clans. But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat?
And it's always demons with Ninja Gaiden. It almost makes you feel like you want to take out your inner demons and fight them as well. Did you feel anything like that from this game, Chris?
Absolutely. I feel like the title was fantastic for this game. Ragebound, right? It's rage-inducing. And HenricK, do you feel as though like Ninja Gaiden Ragebound successfully meshed the 8-bit era with the intensity of the modern 3D entries? Because honestly, this feels like a love child between your NES collecting dust in the attic and that, precision, that rage-inducing precision that we used to get from those 2000 hack and slash era.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it entirely is just like you said, a love letter to the original games of the series, and I've played them. Hopefully some of you guys out there in the audience have as well. If you haven't, maybe you should go do a little bit of a history lesson and go, check them out. And not for the faint of heart, just warning you though, because they are a pretty old game series, but the originals are just as fear-inducing. And when I say fear-inducing, I say fear for your sanity. Because not only is it very frustrating, but you have things that are just intentionally frustrating. Whereas with this one, they're a little bit more forgiving, and I respect that because, not everyone's going to enjoy the difficulty of an NES classic, but they still kept that feeling, they kept the feeling of the NES classics, like the fact that you can't aim in diagonals, for example.
Sure, right.
Might be frustrating, but that's how the NES games were.
Yeah, I mean, forget the whole RTX reflections of your Ninja Sweat, right? I mean, this game's all about that high contrast, pixel art, the classic 2D cutscenes and the, PS1 style nostalgia. And if you ever wanted a speed of that classic 2D Ninja Gaiden mixed with that flashy brutality of its 3D cousins, then Ragebound nails it. Wouldn't you say, HenricK?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they have all the little new tricks and everything that they know from modern games that have come out since the originals to make things feel punchy and more impactful than they did back then. I mean, because, when you hit something in the classics, it didn't have a screen shake to go with it, for an
Yeah, right,
example. You know,
exactly.
things like that, you know, stand as small features, but they really make the experience feel very modern at the same time. And I would say the game does feel, just, you know, playing it as well, very smooth, very polished. And I love that. It actually is interesting too, because it wasn't Koei Tecmo directly involved with really making the game. It was actually the Game Kitchen, who's well known for Souls like Metroidvania, that did this. And I think that was actually a really great choice of a decision on their end to say, you know what, we see that you guys made this really good series called Blasphemous that people really love and enjoy. You want to make a game for us real quick? Like,
Yeah, and
why not at that point? That's just, you're outsourcing to a team that knows what they're doing in the space.
yeah, and clearly they love the legacy that Ninja Gaiden has already started. And I feel like with the story, it kicks off with Ryu, who takes a little field trip to America to honor his father's will. And then, meanwhile, back home, the barrier between the human and the demon worlds shatters like a bad Wi-Fi connection, right? I mean, they're just unleashing pure chaos on the village. And then, I don't know, HenricK, was this like a bad choice to go on vacation, or does evil just really hate unsupervised ninjas?
Oh well, you know, and evil just hates the ninjas in general because they're always shutting them down. It really feels like, I mean, I made a joke at the beginning, but it really feels like every Ninja Gaiden or Ninja Gaiden, depending on which way you want
Yeah,
to
that's
pronounce
true.
it,
Right.
it always involves demons and them wanting to bring back the Demon Lord.
Yeah,
But you know
I mean,
what? It works. It's a premise that is good enough to have a reason to go fight them.
well, you know, especially with Ryu out and then his student Kenji steps up, the team, you know, starts to team up with that shady Black Spider clan and then decides, yeah, you know, Forbidden Power sounds fine. When have we ever found out that that kind of stuff works? Didn't we just see
Never
the same
does.
story plot in Hogwarts Legacy? But anyways,
Yeah.
I mean, if it means stopping the Demon Lord, we'll do everything that we can. But it definitely feels like a legit prequel in a sense. I mean, it's tying Kenji directly to Ryu while sprinkling in like fan service, like Muramasi's, you know, shop, and then you could think about, you know, those grotesque enemies that dissolve into skeletons, right? You know, that just feel like, hey, remember us from the 3D days? So there's a lot of callbacks to the nostalgia, or even like you would have to play the old games, but like even the one that stuck out to me was almost like you might think it's John Wick, but then you remember the staircase, you know, scene, you know, from the 3D
Oh,
games.
yeah.
I love that they even brought it to this game as well. I know it's kind of a little bit of a spoiler for what's to come in this game, but if you know, you know, and it's so freaking cool how they sprinkle that in for the, you know, the old school fans that grew up with this series, but also trying to introduce it to the modern audience that might not necessarily get down with retro grittiness that this game has to offer. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
Henrik?
and that's an interesting choice on their part, because I know this is part of them really wanting to bring back Ninja Gaiden. I mean, they have, I believe it's on October actually, Ninja Gaiden 4 that's coming out, and that's in their mainline entry. That's a 3D title, but this one, it's a 2D title, you know, and a lot of people will look at a 2D title nowadays and be like, I don't need to play that. That's old news at this point, you know. So it really feels like probably this is just for the fans, if anything, as like a fan service thing. Like, hey, we know you guys have been wanting Ninja Gaiden to come back, and some of you fans really enjoy the 2D games. So let's make a 2D game for you guys so that you guys are happy that we are listening to your feedback and wanting 2D games. But we're also, by the way, making a 3D game, so, you know, stay tuned because that's going to be a banger, I'm sure.
I feel like you're also not saying the quiet part out loud, which is the attention span that the younger generation has, which is like, you know, at times I felt like I was stuck replaying a boss fight over and over again, like white knuckling my controller, like my life and my job the next day depended on it. And why do I say that? There are no mid-mission saves, okay? So that means if you fail, you're doing the whole thing all over again, and it's so freaking annoying. But in a way, HenricK, it's kind of refreshing. It kind of reminded me of, like, beating a brutally unfair level as a kid growing up and then actually, you know, feel like you accomplished something instead of just spamming the quick saves like I do playing Fallout, if you know what I mean.
No, yeah, and that is the beauty of retro games is, you know, yeah, there's a lot of things that are outdated in just design and also comfortability. Quality of life is kind of sometimes not a thing that they were thinking of like they do nowadays.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, any retro game that
Or I
you
was gonna
had
joke with you,
trouble
like,
with, I mean, it's been satisfying when you've beaten it finally.
or I could think about, the classic Lion King game, right? Designed
yeah.
to be, at Blockbusters, so us kids
Yep.
would rent them out and then go, wow, why is this level so hard? And your parents wondering, why do you want to keep renting this game for another month, right? Because they
Yeah.
purposely make these levels so freaking hard. Yeah, there's some checkpoints, as you referenced in your beautiful pause and repeat video. But, like, even that's not enough for me. I know. I'll say it out loud. I have no problem
it's
saying
just
it. It's a skill issue.
too, Chris.
I get
Come
it,
on.
right? But, like, there's a lot of great additions in this game. There are hypercharges and guillotine boosts that let you slice through your enemies with flair, while wall jumping and wall climbing turn every stage into, like, a vertical obstacle course. And then add in the score chasing challenges and the stage objectives, and suddenly you're back to slamming restart because you missed a high score chain by like 2 points. I know it can be brutal sometimes, but it all blends together into a combat that's blisteringly fast, that you have to be precise, yet it's chaotic, but it's deeply rewarding.
Yes, and rewarding, I found it. But I have a question for you, Chris, then.
Yeah.
Was this a pause for you, or was this a repeat?
Yeah, the more I think about it, after all that pain, the pixel blood, and the wall jumping chaos, what's the verdict for me? I'm going to say it's a repeat. It's a lot of fun. You can get this game done in about, I'd say, 9 hours. There are a few like side quests that you can get done in the game, but because the game is so challenging and you get to, unlock skins even after the game, which is a really, really cool feature, I think a lot of gamers are going to have a lot of fun. It's a perfect warm-up to get us ready for the 4th installment, right? They're doing so it's going to be fantastic. Ragebound definitely has to be on your list. And I know some gamers might be kind of surprised. They're like, Chris, I thought you kind of don't really vibe with 8-bit games.
I really don't.
I really don't, but there's something really different about this game that's fun, it's rewarding, and I know you, the gamers, will have a blast. And even if you're not totally involved with the series and you have no idea what the hell is going on, it's a great introduction for what's to come, with how they want to establish this series for the future. So, yeah, I'm excited. This game got me excited, so I'm curious on how you're vibing with this game.
Oh, this is a definite repeat, Chris. I mean, I already kind of knew it was when I saw the trailer, but it just got solidified that it was a repeat after the first few missions, because I didn't even notice how much time I was taking playing the game.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was like, oh, wow, it's already been that long that I've been playing. I feel like I've been having a blast.
Yeah,
so,
it's a beautiful game that you feel like you want to play on the go.
Yeah, it's definitely not for everyone. I understand that. But if you feel like you want to try a retro-style game made for the modern era, this is a perfect choice for it.
Yeah, and the music's fantastic in the game, too. I really had a blast. It really brings you back to the good old days, right? But we want to know from you, the gamers. Are you guys vibing with Ninja Gator, Ninja Gaiden, Ragebound? Let us know what's good. But we got so much more left here on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. So, HenricK the Wreck, are you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
Oh, yes. Let's roll.
Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat.
What's good, listeners? Welcome to Patch Notes, where my co-host HenricK the Wreck and I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more. Let's get it. So Louisiana is coming for Roblox, claiming that the platform has basically become a playground for predators instead of players. And so Attorney General Liz Morrell wants the site shut down, arguing Roblox dropped the ball on keeping kids safe. So let's hear from the Attorney General herself.
This is the kind of obscene garbage that they are peddling to our children in Louisiana. I will not stand by and watch this company grow exponentially from exploiting children and facilitating child sexual abuse for profit.
You know, they do have a good point there. There's a lot of really disturbing stuff that you can find in one quick night on Roblox.
Yeah, I better not catch you ever playing any of those games listed, HenricK the Wreck, that were on that poster. All right, with over 111 million monthly users, yeah, this is definitely a problem, and gamers definitely had thoughts, and they didn't hold back in the comments. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. This is all Roblox needs to do. Hey, Fortnite, I'd like to share some thoughts on moderation. As a father, I absolutely do not want my kids playing any of these games. While they might slide past the exact rules of moderation, the implied adult themes just from the thumbnails sheds light on the shortcoming, as you can see with some of these games that he had a problem with. And then Fortnite responded under their Twitter handle, Fortnite creators, hey, Austin, some of these are already down, and we'll keep removing, volatile islands. Thanks for reporting. Thanks. And so, like, yeah, there is a place where you can, report it through X. You can report it, I'm sure on their website, but people just feel like they still haven't done enough, especially since Roblox. I mean, yeah, you could, Fortnite is always joked as like, for little kids under the age of 18. It's really not. There's a lot of grown-ass people that play Fortnite, but like with Roblox, it was really always catered towards the youth, and that's why, yeah, it definitely is something that should be addressed. Don't you think, HenricK?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, if it's gonna be, like you said, catering towards kids, there has to be some sort of way to moderate it to keep the youngins safe. Because if you don't have certain things in place, like moderation and age verification, things like that, it's just going to run rampant. And I mean, we've seen it before with other things before where that eventually got shut down. Things like everyone talks about Club Penguin. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot to really do in Club Penguin like you can compare to Roblox, where Roblox is more of like a game engine where you can do all sorts of
sandbox.
stuff. Yeah, sandbox. But same thing, same concept where there was a lack of moderation and probably also a lack of funds at the end of the day. But Club Penguin got shut down because, there's certain things happening in that ended up being kind of not that friendly for kids. And people came after them as a result.
And look at this image that's got over, 1.4 thousand hearts on it. And you might be wondering, why is Chris Hansen looking like he's in a Roblox character? Well, guess what? Chris Hansen, that we all grew up knowing, kind of, putting these predators on blast, busting them on camera, is actually working on a documentary exposing Roblox lack of safety protocols, which endangers the safety of the children. And yeah, I mean, I think it's about time. I mean, for myself personally, Roblox feels like it prioritizes user growth and revenue and profits over child safety. And when you start to see those stupid ass thumbnails, like, the Diddy Island and this and that, it's like, is that really appropriate for any kid, under the age of 13 to even be able to have access? And why would they even want to be associated with that? Even just in general, even if you're 18 plus, you know what I mean? Like, it just seems so ass backwards.
And at the same time, like, I get it from the kid's perspective. It's like, I made a Diddy joke. I'm involved with a Diddy joke. But it's like, come on, guys.
Go back to growing a garden, all right?
You don't even know what that really means at the end of the day. And that's the problem is,
they might learn something
getting
through
to something they don't entirely know in the first place.
Yeah, and then they get exposed to these kind of style of games, and then that kind of raises the question too. It's like, why are even your kids even playing Roblox, knowing that it's an online game? And yeah, I'm sure you can shut up all the online features, but it's kind of like what you told me before we even jumped on air, right? It's like more kids probably should be playing more retro games, and kind of staying away from like the online presence. It just doesn't feel necessary. But then you also get this: a petition calling for the removal of Roblox CEO has received more than 100,000 signatures. The campaign accuses Roblox leadership of putting children on the platform at risk and ignoring community concerns. And yeah, it seems like something that has been raised not just once, not just twice, but like 3 different times. I mean, the company faced lawsuits and backlash for not doing enough to protect the kids on its gaming services. And just last month alone, a lawsuit was filed in Iowa after a 13-year-old girl was allegedly introduced to an adult predator on the platform and then kidnapped and trafficked across multiple states and was raped. So, like, that alone, it's crazy to think that you would hope that that would be the one and only case. Horrifying situation. But no, they got numerous cases where they're finding out where even in the state of Louisiana, there's a Livingston Parish Sheriff, Jason Ard, who said that his office has already received multiple cases in the state of Louisiana, with one police officer alleging that they have a man caught using voice-altering technology to pose as a girl on the platform because the AI is getting so good. And, like, that's where it becomes a little creepy in a sense.
Yeah.
And then there's people like this. He needs to resign. His philosophy is why we're here. He wants dating for Roblox. I know. Wasn't that always kind of weird? Like,
yeah, no, yeah. Maybe they should back away from that at this point with all the negative press they're getting. And I hope they do, because it is just kind of weird to think of dating on Roblox as like a main core feature that they're selling. And for those who don't know this Twitter user, Schlep, he is a YouTuber who has been exposing Roblox, and he got a cease and desist in the mail. They said, yeah, basically that's them saying, yeah, we know that there's stuff going on, but we don't want you to talk about it because then you're exposing us.
well, now that the state of Louisiana is suing them and hopefully more states can get behind this, they have to address it. Elephants out. You know what I mean? You got to do what it's crazy. And then I think it comes to a point now where Roblox cannot dig their head in the sand and act like it's not happening anymore, because now that an attorney general is suing, they have to respond to this. Yeah, that's kind of what I was insinuating. And it's so true. And hopefully we can get the answers and really put some repercussions towards Roblox. And, Roblox will argue like, yeah, we don't allow users to share videos or images in chats. And we try to block any personal information such as phone numbers. And like we discussed last season during our finale, oh, yeah, look at us. We created this new thing called Trusted Connections, which is a feature that requires teenagers aged 13 to 17 to send a video selfie to verify their ages if they wanted to chat freely with people they know. And that's kind of like where we're getting to the point where it's like, why do we have to go through all these steps, to make it right? I mean, I guess that's where we have to go if we're going to be allowing these young adolescents to jump online. I don't have the right answers. Maybe you, the viewer that's tuning in live, does. Join the chat. And then the last comment reads, the ESRP has failed and is not useful. Games should not be allowed to be marketed to children if there is peer-to-peer forms of communication. Voice typing shouldn't be marketed to kids under 16. Parents need to freaking parent their kids, not let the internet raise them. You don't achieve this with quote-unquote age verification. You change it by promoting a different culture and working to make it easier for families to function on single-family incomes. I think she's got a point.
Yeah, and that kind of is the thing, too. It's like, yeah, I think both sides of the argument of, oh, it's the parents' problem, or, oh, it's the platform's problem, they're always blaming each other, but they're never wanting to work together. And it's like, come on, guys. You got to work together to make the problem go away. If you guys keep arguing with each other on who's actually to blame, whether it's the parents or the platform, you're not going to get anywhere. Because even if you fix one side, the other side is still a problem.
And I guess that's where the question leads to, where, like, how does Roblox go from a predator playground back to parent-approved fun? Or will it ever? Because, I mean, what safety measures should they drop to earn back trust and let kids enjoy a sandbox game without that creepy interruptions?
Well, I don't know if I really entirely have the full answer to that, because it's very nuanced. There's a lot of different factors to this that need to be addressed, from things like one of the tweets said about voice chat and just chat in general needing to be moderated. And that's kind of hard to do, because even if you moderate it, people are going to find some way to communicate, whether it be off platform or even in platform, in a way that bypasses your moderation. But then there's also, the fact that there's just game modes in the game that, kids will have access to that definitely you shouldn't have kids playing. Like I've seen plenty of videos over the past week of people hopping on Roblox to see what it's all about and see why it's in the news. And you can instantly see things like, oh, hugging roleplay simulator. And it's like, all right, but I think that you're trying to insinuate that the hugging is something else.
Yeah.
And like that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's plenty of other weird things on there.
Oh,
Some
absolutely.
innocuous things, but some things that's like, why is this in a kid's game?
Well, if Roblox wants to introduce it as like an all thing for everybody, then they definitely have to address what even the Attorney General is saying. There is no age minimum or substantial age verification process once a user signs up. And like you said, if there is one of those kind of style of games that are showing up on their feed by accident or on purpose, then maybe before they're even allowed to get into the game, they have to verify themselves again. And as a result, young children, teens, and adults posing as children can't sign up. And that's another real thing. I mean, we showed it with Gary's mod last week, where like people were literally using a video game to bypass the selfies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. And so, yeah, the company will say, they're working on this like age verification system that is, currently in testing on Roblox. But is that enough to win over parents? I don't know. We'll have to soon find out.
I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, bringing it back to my point, it has to be an effort from the platform and the parents. Parents have to step in and be like, you know what, I'm actually going to raise my children rather than just stick them in front of an iPad or a computer or a console and say, have at it, because I don't want to deal with you.
But I feel like a lot of the problem that even Roblox got so popular is because it's a free-to-play game in a sense, right? Yeah, there are, microtransactions inside the game, but like you're right. I mean, we have to parent our children in the end. And, Roblox said this month too, they talked to the AP, they said they're rolling out an artificial intelligence system to help detect early signs of possible child endangerment, such as sexually explicitive language. And just to kind of wrap this up, Roblox said that the system led to over 1,200 reports of potential attempts at child exploitation to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children just in the first half of 2025. That's wild. That's really, really insane. So we want to throw it to you, the gamers. How should Roblox address this issue? Or are you on the side of the Attorney General, who she believes Roblox should be shut down for the meantime? Let us know what's good. But all right, HenricK, controllers down, capes on. It's time to assemble for some Marvel Rivals talk.
Well, Marvel Rivals developers at NetEase just got the official thumbs up to cook up their own original characters on top of Disney's endless buffet of heroes and villains, because there's plenty out there. Fans have been wondering if Disney would actually allow fresh faces in an official Marvel game, and now it's confirmed. So let's see if gamers are hyped or ready to roast the creations of these developers.
Yeah, that's pretty some wild news. I mean, I'm only playing this because it's Marvel. I think that 99% of the player base, if this game was OC Rivals, it would have died 1 month into launch like Fragpunk did. I know, isn't that a good point? I mean, if it was just labeled as Rival or Rivals, would anybody actually be jumping onto the hype of this new hero game if that was the case, HenricK?
I mean, I think the gameplay is pretty solid when it comes down to it, but a lot of people only really knew about the game probably because of the IP attached to it. Marvel.
Do you feel like original characters will show up sooner than later, or will we not see this for like another 2 or 3 years and it's just getting leaked now?
Yeah, we might not see it for another while, at least I'd hope not, because there's plenty of Disney characters, or not Disney, but like Marvel characters that are owned by Disney,
right?
That they could license to put in the game. And it feels almost a little unnecessary because of the fact that there's so many of them.
Yeah, I mean,
you got all the comics to go off.
You could think of Deadpool, right? You could think of Quicksilver. You're like, what the heck, people? Help us out. And then remember how Mortal Kombat had hundreds of characters to pull from, and then they created a new character named Cole for the movie? What the F is going through people's mind? Maybe they got that inspiration from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I mean, that's such a great point. I didn't even think about that. And then another comment reads, Multiverses also had a character in their base roster named Rain Dog. Developers got ton of backlash for not having Scooby instead. While I personally don't mind promotional original characters, I feel like adding them as a choice later instead of making them a base character seems like a bad idea. Luna Snow, for most people, was unknown prior to Rivals. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, I actually really didn't even know this because Luna Snow is the creation of Marvel Future Fight developer Netmarble. But, you know, to be fair to Luna Snow, though, she did start to appear in various official Marvel comics. So you start to sense or wonder whether Disney would love to have the support from NetEase to create new characters into the Marvel universe. What's your thoughts on all that?
It's possible to do. It has to be just done properly. And I don't know if just speaking as someone who does play the game, I dabble, you could say. Knowing the fan base has to be the right kind of character.
Well, I know the right kind of character.
If you know,
you want to know who it is? You know what the right kind of character is?
What's that?
Your boy Chris Collins, yeah, boy. And then the next guy
now coming to Marvel Rivals, Chris Collins himself.
Wouldn't that be awesome? And then let's make some new characters instead of the hundreds we could be making from the license we got. Makes tons of sense. Having one original character playable is fine. I'm on the opinion that if an adaptation has a good idea, let them use it. Like, for example, Superman TAS gave us Livewire and Mercy Graves. It's only an issue if it becomes a repeated gimmick.
That's an interesting take on that.
Yeah, I could see where they're going. And then I don't think this game would have gotten any traction if it didn't have any Marvel characters licensed for it. Probably not a good idea to move away from the big hook for a lot of players. Yeah, I mean, but you're still playing, right? And there's still a lot of characters in that game. And didn't they promise us that we're going to have new heroes and villains like every month? 2 months, 3 months? I
don't know I don't remember if it was that often, but yeah, they have a lot planned moving forward.
They expect us to play it for the next decade. And then the last comment reads, this is my first ever hero shooter game, and the only reason I installed it because my favorite Marvel characters were in the game. There are a lot of Marvel heroes I'd love to see before they start doing this. So clearly the fan base is roasting this idea. And HenricK, so Disney clearly has full faith in NetEase to whip up original Marvel characters, but if Stan Lee were still around, I just wonder, would he be giving them a heroic thumbs up or asking why his creations have now turned into TikTok dances as superpowers?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I feel like maybe he wouldn't be so okay with it. But,
yeah, I don't think so.
Can't really know, unfortunately. Rest in peace. The man was a legend. But maybe it's a way that they can go around getting approval from the fan base for this is, it feels like a lot of people have the worry that if they do this, they're going to be replacing what would have been time towards revealing other characters from Marvel that already exists. Well, what about this? What if they revealed a character that already exists that you really love? We'll say Deadpool for this example.
Right.
But at the same time that they release Deadpool, they release an original character. And it's like, hey, Deadpool actually met this guy while he was time traveling. And he brought him into the cast of characters alongside him. Maybe that would work, So they got to be creative enough and not make it feel like it's just a shoehorn character in as like, hey, we don't really want to pay for the license for another character, so we threw another character of our own in here.
Okay, now you're hitting on 2 different points. Okay, that's really, really interesting. I do get where you're coming from, where it's like, maybe it might be a better idea to not introduce a new character like we've done in the past, just straight to the comic books, because, we've heard different renditions of different Captain Americas over the years, and people are like, why the hell are we doing this? You know what I mean? Where they go, maybe if we introduce it into a game like Marvel Rivals where you could do that, create a little backstory around Deadpool universe, say that he's associated or came across this person. And what better way to vibe with this original character that we've made to put it in a video game where you got full control of this character. Now you really start to understand the superpowers that this person possesses, this hero or this villain. But then the second point you make, which is actually That's a fascinating take, HenricK. I didn't even think about that. What if it is too expensive to license from Disney those Marvel characters? And what if they have to try to find a way to make their money back? And maybe a faster way to make their money back is by creating original characters for Marvel Rivals. Huh. I wonder, sit on that, gamers. I think HenricK's got a point.
And in fact, let us know what you think about it, because I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I think that's like the perfect place to just kind of go ponder on it. Sit on it. But let's go ahead and start to switch some gears because, they are back and they are hitting strong. PETA has set its sights on Mario Kart World, demanding Nintendo to redesign their new character Cow and remove the nose ring, calling it a symbol of animal cruelty. Yes, this isn't the first rodeo for PETA with Nintendo, but the real race is in the comments section where gamers are drifting hard into debate. So let's go ahead and see what the fans of the video game have to say about PETA's response. So let's go ahead and see what's good. This is cruel. This is abyss. Shows the happiest cow living in his best life, racing with others as an equal. Uh-oh. Sure, PETA.
Yeah, and you know what's great about this too is I'm sure that people playing this game really don't even care.
Right?
They
Yeah,
just see a cow and they see how happy the cow is, and they're like, cool. I love this character.
Yeah, exactly. He looks so happy, and then I go, I feel like you have lost the main plot of your organization. And then PETA responded, we know Mario Kart World is just a game, and that's exactly why Cow's nose ring needs to go. Mario Kart is supposed to be a fun escape, not a reminder of the painful tools used on cows in the meat and dairy industries. Giving Cow this glow-up, now it's a glow-up, okay, is a small change that can make a huge difference in how players think about animals. So if they remove the nose ring, would this small change actually have an impact on society as a whole?
No. I don't think so. I know a lot of people played Mario Kart probably already because of the fact that a lot of people bought a Nintendo Switch too. Or maybe they couldn't afford it.
I remember when the trailers came out and everybody was like, I love the cow. It's so cute. And then all of a sudden, the only person that has a problem with it is PETA. You know, maybe I would have been on their case if they were like, this $80 game is horrendous. And I would have been like, wow, we're not talking about animals. We're just talking about pricing. I love you guys for this. This is great. But now, it's pretty wild. But then again, you fixed it for them.
Just made it bigger.
Yeah, I thought that was Dennis Rodman. No, I'm looking at a cow. Holy cow. And then,
I see what you did there.
Yeah, PETA's doing everything but helping real animals. Yeah, it kind of feels like that sometimes. And then, don't do that now. Don't do that. Hilarious since many of their members look like this. Yeah, you know, that is kind of a funny point. You would think that they would actually go after people that pierce themselves, right? I mean, instead of going after Nintendo in a video game, we see numerous guys and girls have bull rings piercings. You know what I mean? And if that was truly a statement that PETA stood on, then maybe they should switch some gears a little bit and go after people that like to pierce themselves in places that feel very, very painful. Something I wouldn't recommend, but hey, if that's your choice, that's your choice. And then the last comment reads, oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. PETA's going to report you. So, HenricK. So, wait. I had no idea. This is brand new to me. That every hippie girl that I fell in love with, or every metalhead that I love just rocking out to, that wear bull rings, we're secretly in a cult that symbols animal cruelty. Who would have thought that, right? I mean, did Nintendo really mess up with the cow's design, or should PETA be like saving their blue shells for a bigger battle? It's crazy.
Oh, PETA. They never change, do they?
No.
They're always going after someone or something or a game or anything like that, trying to stir up some controversy. And I'm pretty sure this is one of those cases as well where maybe they don't even actually care whether they make a change to the game. They just really want to ruffle the feathers of some people and get their faces, or maybe not their faces so much, but their message out there.
Yeah, I
but
feel
at
like
the end of the
they
day, people still don't care.
Yeah, if they want to
It's not-
capitalize on their organization, you got to talk about one of the most popular games, right? So they're taking advantage of it, and I kind of get where they're coming from. Trust me, I'm not no farmer. I'm never going to admit it. I live a great life in Southern California, living under a beautiful roof and food on my plate. You know, no pun intended to maybe the cow that I'm eating later on. But anyways, you know, I didn't know that that some of these places, workers do stab rings through the cows and bulls, septum, and then sometimes chain the rings to the bull's horn for even more pain-driven control. So yeah, that definitely is a real thing. I totally understand that. And like in the dairy industry, they even use clip spiked nose rings on baby cows so that the nursing hurts their moms and that they're rejected and get kicked away. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that you start to read into it and you go, wow, I never knew that. But you feel like with something with the happy cow in a Mario Kart Worlds game, I feel like that wasn't really the right message. I get that it's, they're focused on animals, but maybe they could focus on how society as a whole walks around in life. You know what I mean? If they had such a big problem with nose rings and how they feel resembling that in a children's game like Mario Kart could be so impactful on a society as a whole, why don't they address humans? I'm a little befuddled, in a sense. And then okay, Zacko man. Does anyone take anything that PETA says seriously? Yeah, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I feel I can't think of a case.
Stuff.
I can't think of a case right now, but I'm sure there's like a few things that, over the years you kind of go, okay, yeah, maybe they do get a point. But then, the more research I did on them, HenricK, I was kind of surprised that I didn't know some of these things. Like, for example, back in 2007, they campaigned against KFC by releasing a Super Chick Sisters. It was a Flash Prodigy game that was kind of like based off the new Super Mario Bros. Where players control a pair of like small chicks who have to rescue PETA campaigner Pamela Anderson from the evil Colonial Sanders. And then also get this, HenricK, which was also pretty freaking hilarious to me. Did you know that there's a thing called Pokemon Black and Blue? And no, Pokemon did not make this game. It was PETA. Did you hear about this?
Of course. Yes,
yeah.
I have.
I had no idea about this. I thought it was fake. I'm like, what are you talking about? I jump on YouTube. I start looking up gameplay. And it was their response towards Pokemon being like, you guys are a cockfighting simulator. I'm like, oh my God, we can't have anything nice in this world. So, especially now that like Pokemon, trading cards are getting popular all over again. I wonder if they're going to address, kids collecting what they view as a cockfighting simulator. I mean, you can never win. I mean, even in this game, they'll even show you Pikachu being battered senselessly with like blood-covered baseball bats. Don't show them Super Smash Brothers, by the way. They really won't like that one. And then remember in Mario, in Super Mario 3D Land, where they reintroduced Mario wearing a suit with, what do they call it? The Tanuki?
The Tanuki suit.
Excuse me, coughing over here. But yeah, like even PETA, they had an issue with it. They felt like, yo, why would you even introduce Mario wearing a suit covered in blood? Well, they did at least. And then they were like holding like a raccoon's decapitated head, to be like, are we cool with this? Are we cool with Mario wearing dead animals on him? And it's like, did anyone actually think that when they were playing that game?
No.
I don't know. I'm curious on what gamers have to say. I was very took back by that. But yeah, it seems like we're both on that same agreement. Definitely feel like they missed the mark. But what do you say, gamers? Do you feel like PETA's on the right approach to come after Nintendo and say, listen, a minor change can go a long way, or maybe they should go pick another battle for another day? Let us know what's good. But all right, HenricK, time to switch loadouts and dive into the next boss fight of conversation. Let us know what's good.
Well, this week, Reddit's asking the ultimate gamer question. What's a game so good, that you've ended up buying it not once, but twice? Translation, what title made you throw financial responsibility out the window and hit checkout again? Turns out gamers would do it all over without a single regret. So let's dive deep into those comments.
Yeah, let's see what's good. The first one that we got here is Skyrim. I've spent way too much time and money on all versions. Worth it, though, because it is my ultimate feel-good game. I
You know,
do
that's
love
a great
me some good Skyrim.
choice because
great
yeah,
choice.
Skyrim has been released like 100 times.
It is one of my favorite
Re-released.
games. I feel like if it wasn't for, cloud gaming, I probably would have bought this game twice, but I haven't. But I could see why, gamers definitely do embrace this. It sits so well after a decade later.
Mhm.
It's incredible. There's not too many games that are afforded that opportunity. And then you get games like this, Stardew Valley for sure. I'm pretty sure I've gotten it on every console I have. PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and mobile. I mean, do you have it like that? It's funny.
I definitely I don't have it on my account more than once, but I have it on my Steam account, and then I bought it for my girlfriend as well. So
Well, I feel like I'm
I have
missing
bought
out
it
because
twice.
I've never played Stardew Valley. Never once in my life.
Really?
So like, is it really all about that life, fam?
It's a chill game, and because of that, it's very good to just pop on and sit back and relax, but still feel like you're doing something.
I remember that interview with Bobby Lee, the comedian. He was like, "This is my favorite game. I love, farming and this and that." And every time I see his reviews, I'm like, "Hey, that seems cute and quirky for you, but like, even as I was joking with the young adolescents and their attention spans so short, I'm with you, y'all." And I like to jump the game to game, and so that's why I feel like I can't commit to this for the time being. But maybe I should, because clearly the follow-up comment says, I got it on pretty much every device possible. And, maybe they got a point. But the next one is Portal. Yeah, Portal's good, but I don't know if I never bought it twice, though. Have you?
No, I haven't bought it twice because I still have my original orange box edition of it from back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, these are some pretty interesting takes that people got. I have like 6 versions of Resident Evil 4. I could see that, especially with like the remastered and the remake and the GameCube version.
Not even counting the remaster. I have it on Steam, but I, at one point at least, had it on GameCube as well.
You had it 6 different versions, though?
Not 6 different versions.
Yeah, that seems like a bit of a stretch, but
Yeah.
that seems like a more stronger case right now. Skyrim, Stardew Valley, and Resident Evil 4. I don't know about Portal so far, but then we also get a throwback. Okay, Diablo 2. Between needing a new CD keys and Resurrected, I couldn't tell you how many times I purchased that game. I'm not sorry.
I almost bought this twice, I will say. And the only reason I almost bought it twice because I didn't know where I had my original CDs of the game. And I wanted to play it at one point, like maybe a little over 10 years ago. And I was like, yeah, man, where is it? I finally found it. And I was like, okay, well, now I can't play it, though, because I have no CD player. But then I realized, I can actually redeem the activation code on Blizzard's website, and I can download it.
Oh, interesting. Okay, gotcha.
It worked out. But I almost bought it twice because of that.
That's so funny you say that, because it is funny when you do buy that next upgrade of your laptop, not your desktop PC, like your next laptop, and you're like, oh shit, I don't even have a CD-ROM.
Yeah.
The one time I need a CD-ROM, this shit happens to me. And then the last one says, Vampire Survivors, now with cross-save support. A lot of these games are shocking me. I am very surprised at some of the hottest takes on this thread for what's a game so good that he ended up buying it twice. And so now it comes back to you, HenricK. What game was so good that it convinced you that owning one copy just wasn't enough flex for your collection?
In recent memory, probably Baldur's Gate 3, because I bought it for myself, and then my girlfriend was like, oh, this is a really fun game. She played it at her brother's house when she went to go visit him. And when she came back, she wanted to play a bit more of it. I was like, oh, I'll buy it for you.
I was about to say she's using the brother's excuse, but she's really saying, I'm having too much fun, HenricK. Go find another way to try to get your game back. Hint, hint.
Then eventually we ended up doing the whole Steam family sharing thing between her and I on our account. So now I have 2 of them in my Steam account as a result of that.
How funny is that? You were like, is that a glitch in the system? What the hell is going on? Yeah, it's so funny because like when I first saw this Reddit thread, I was like, my brain went like immediately to like, wait, people actually buy a game twice? Like, how freaking stupid is that? Like, I can barely understand why people spend hundreds of dollars on V-Bucks and cosmetic skins, and then it hit me. I am that person. I have bought a game twice. And I was like, holy shit.
Oh, yeah?
I am
Which one?
such a hypocrite. And the game that comes into mind is, and I think gamers will be like, okay, you could slide with this. Halo, the Master Chief Collection. I feel like
Oh,
everybody's
yes.
done that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You once had a friend that had the Xbox. We all played the trilogy. I grew up with the PlayStation growing up. And so then, once the Master Chief Collection comes around, it's like, are you really going to say no? No, you're not.
Oh,
But then
especially when it's not like $10 sometimes. Like, that's just a deal at that point. $10 for the whole trilogy plus more?
Yeah, I
Sign
do
me
remember
up.
it being on sale, and then my little brother got an Xbox that he worked out some deal with like an ex-employee. He's like, I don't need this. I'm moving on. And it's like, well, we have no games for the Xbox. We already have a PS5. We'll probably never play this. What game should we get? Oh, yeah, Halo, the Master Chief Collection. So that's what ended up happening. I mean, back then, I didn't even think twice before hitting buy. And then now I'm starting to think, holy crap, I'm probably going to do it all over again. On August 26th,
Oh, when it
Gears
comes
of
to the
War.
PlayStation?
Well, yeah, think about it. Gears of War Reloaded is finally on PlayStation for the first time, and you'll
True,
better
yeah.
believe I'll be diving back in and reliving the chaos on August 26th. So, like, that's incredible. They're already talking about crossplay between, different platforms. So, I can't wait. The nostalgia is real. And so, I'm curious on what other gamers have to say. What is a game that you can think about that you've spent on a video game, not once, but twice? Let us know what's good. But man, this has been such a fun ride for our season 10 launch of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show, and we can't thank everyone for tuning in on Meta, Twitch, and YouTube live at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. And we just want to take a moment for anybody that hasn't liked, shared, subscribed to the YouTube channels. Scan the QR code, takes you directly to my YouTube channel. Holler at your boy.
And you see that QR code, you should know what the drill is like so far at this point. Go ahead and scan it. I'm waiting. All right, now that you scanned it, go ahead and hit subscribe on there as well, because there's always tons of stuff coming out there and more on the way. So leave some comments. Let me know how I'm doing. Tell me if you want to see something. I'd like to hear from you.
That's right. And we can't thank you guys enough. And we will see you next week live at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Wednesday for Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. For now, have some fun. Wear a lot of sunscreen. It's hot out here in Southern California. But anywhere else in the world, if you're cold, put a jacket on. We'll see you later, fam. Peace.